As we get moving toward the main road, Travis Barker starts asking me questions about Ohio. And as I normally do, whenever I meet a celebrity, I can't really keep myself together. I get all nervous and weird. So that's the way this one was going. A little bit nervous, but he starts asking me questions. What's Ohio have? Of all the places in the world to be curious about, didn't seem like Ohio would really be one of those. Sure enough, though, he was fixated, tripping over my words. He says, well, like, how much does a house cost in Ohio? This is like back in 2002. I couldn't think on my feet at the time. I couldn't pull myself together. Travis Barker from Blink 182. I didn't just meet Travis Barker. I made a run for the border with him. It took us probably 15 minutes. But we finally did make it to Taco Bell. That's right. I took Travis Barker to Taco Bell. I was working at the concert venue and got the phone call. You need to go pick up the van. Got to make a run. So I swing the van around, and sure enough, out walks the door Travis Barker, his girlfriend, a nephew, and the bodyguard. And I'm like, okay, here we're going to do this. They climb in the van, and I confirm, are we really going to Taco Bell? Yep, that's where we want to go. Sorry, sounds good to me. And this turned out to be one of the most engaging conversations with a celebrity that I have ever had. As we get moving toward the main road, Travis Barker starts asking me questions about Ohio. And as I normally do, whenever I meet a celebrity, I can't really keep myself together. I get all nervous and weird. And so that's the way this one was going. A little bit nervous, but he starts asking me questions. What's Ohio have? And he became fixated on, like, what is really in Ohio? And I couldn't figure it out because, of all the places in the world to be curious about, it didn't seem like Ohio would really be one of those. Sure enough, though, he was fixated. What's Ohio have? And I'm like, I don't, I was, tripping over my words. He says, well, like, how much does a house cost in Ohio? This is like back in 2002. And I couldn't think on my feet at the time. I couldn't pull myself together. So I said the first thing that popped into my brain, which was, I think Ohio has some nice houses, because some of them cost $200,000. Even after I said it, I was just like, what am I doing right now? I don't know. I don't know how to answer these questions. They're tough. Words are hard. So he starts laughing, of course. But I think that was the first moment where he smelled blood, that he knew I was nervous and I was having trouble finding my words and making conversation, or at least normal conversation with him. So he says, oh, $200,000, huh? Wow, you do have some nice houses. And I was like, oh my God, this is not going well at all. So he's laughing and at my answer, and everybody else in the van is laughing too. So I just went into another strange place in my brain where I decided I needed to defend Ohio. I had to bring us back. So the next thing I said was, we have Kings Island. We have Kings Island. If you don't know what Kings Island is, because he didn't know either, it's just an amusement park in Cincinnati. And I tried to hype it a little bit. I was like, what am I doing? I don't know. I said, we have Kings Island. He said, what's a Kings Island? And I'm like, I think we have one of the largest roller coasters in the world. I'm trying so hard. He starts laughing even harder. Everybody in the van's laughing. They're all losing it. And so I keep trying more. And I'm like, I think it's one of the most popular amusement parks in the world. So then I said, we also have Cedar Point. And he was like, are you talking about another amusement park? That's what Ohio has? You have amusement parks? That's what you have $200,000 houses and amusement parks. And they are rolling. And I'm like, oh my gosh. And I'm just driving, feeling crummy. I'm like, I've embarrassed myself so bad. And he was like, dude, Ohio doesn't have anything, does it? It seems like Ohio sucks. And I'm like, put my head down. And then he looks at me again. He says, Ohio sucks, bro. And you suck. Now, although this was all in good fun, I wasn't feeling very good about it. I mean, he's just having a good time with the runner, and I'm just falling apart on the inside. So we drive on. We make it to Taco Bell, and I was relieved. I'm like, at least we're going to separate here a little bit. So we get out of the van, go inside Taco Bell, and the bodyguard and I go up to the counter and order the food. And then we bring it back to the table where Travis Barker and company are already sitting. I decided I'm just going to go sit by myself. The abuse was a little much for me in the moment. So I went and sat down. Plus, give them their space a little bit. And finally, it's time to leave. And we get our stuff, throw our trays, walk out to the van. I get up in the van and start it up. And I start having an epiphany. I start having this ingenious thing pop into my brain. Everybody climbs in the van. I put it in drive and I start to roll forward a little bit. And I stopped, put it back in park. Everybody gets quiet. They're looking at me like something's going on here. And I said, I just thought of what Ohio has. They're intensely watching and listening to me. And I said, Ohio has the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And the last I checked, you still have to pay to get in. And they lost it. They were like, oh. They opened up the van door and everything. Like, they got out. They were like, oh, my God. Yeah. They were high-fiving me. It was like I redeemed myself. And they were recognizing it. They were recognizing how much they destroyed me on the way over. And I'm like, that's so epic. I'm like, yes, I brought myself back. So, yeah, redemption for sure. Ohio, Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. Travis Barker, you got to pay to get in, buddy.